is Real Estate Agent Masterminds TV. I'm your host, Jeff Tufford, and today we're going to talk about all things FHA. Let's get started. As you may know, FHA is the Federal Housing Administration, and it's under the Department of HUD, which is Housing and Urban Development. What you may not know is FHA is not actually lending any money on loans. What they're doing is guaranteeing the loans against loss. So if a bank, let's say Bank X, loans money on a house and it's an FHA loan and then it's foreclosed, then HUD gets the house back. The lender files a claim with HUD and they are paid for their loss. So it's basically insurance against the loss pretty much. But the problem that we're facing today is HUD has so many crazy programs to pay people rent who don't have jobs, to help people pay their mortgage when they're laid off. Things that, you know, in the end, you're just preventing the inevitable from happening, just delaying it a little longer. HUD is a money loser. And where do they get their funds? Well, it's kind of like Social Security. Social Security money is supposed to be for people when they don't work anymore, and yet the funds are being used for other things. People are dipping into the Social Security fund. Same thing with FHA. Because HUD runs FHA, they actually take money from FHA's insurance fund, which is basically the upfront fees they collect on when loans are originated, the monthly mortgage insurance premiums. Those monies go into the coffer for FHA to protect them or to pay out on the insurance claims when the houses are lost. And HUD takes that money and uses it for other programs, crazy programs, and that's why they keep raising fees. You may not know this, but FHA's fees went up again not too long ago. Right now they charge 1 3/4% up front as the mortgage insurance premium. They also charge an annual rate of 1 1/4%. And they are talking again about, even though they just raised the fees, their fund being short, and there's only one way they can raise more money, and that's to charge your buyers. So FHA is a good program. It helps people, but the people running it are kind of loopy, and they forgot the main purpose. And the main purpose of FHA is to help people get into homes with low money down and low interest rates. All right, so hopefully the government gets an idea here of what's going on. Another thing I want to talk about with FHA is concessions. Now, I've heard agents, they've called me and said, hey, I got an offer on a deal that you did a pre-approval letter on, and they're wanting 6% concessions. Doesn't FHA only do 3%? The answer is no. FHA allows 6% concessions from the seller to the buyer for any cost that the buyer incurs. Now, maybe the confusion comes from a HUD property. HUD will only pay 3% on their listings. That's the maximum they will do. And keep this in mind. HUD does not typically provide for an owner's insurance policy. So when you ask for 3% concessions, if there's an owner's insurance policy, it's actually coming out of that 3%. Well, if FHA does keep raising the rates and things keep going this direction, there is a good alternative out there that becomes even better. Now, some people think with conventional financing that you have to have 20% down. I still hear people say that. No. You only need, generally, the normal for most lenders is 5%. I do have a program that's 3%. Some lenders offer this, some don't. 3% down on conventional. You did hear that right. Now, the mortgage insurance is kind of high, but there's no upfront mortgage insurance like there is on FHA. The rate is a little higher, so all things considered, it's really close right now. An FHA loan on $100,000 would be approximately $578 between the principal and interest and the mortgage insurance payment. Now, on a conventional, at the same $100,000 purchase price, you'd be at $591 with those two items added together. The difference is, with FHA, your loan amount would be $98,188, even though you put an extra 0.5% down, and with conventional, it'd be $97,000. So you'd actually have a loan amount $1,188 less with conventional. Your payment would be about $13 more. Now, one thing to keep in mind is FHA allows that 6% concessions we talked about. Conventional, if you have less than 10% down, now remember this for all your conventional offerings, less than 10% down, you have 3% maximum concessions from the seller. So when your buyer is trying to do conventional, remember that. So when you compare the two, conventional is, over the long haul, could be better. Now, there's another thing to keep in mind. FHA requires that you keep your mortgage insurance 5 years. That's not generally the case with conventional mortgage insurance, but buyers should read their contract from the mortgage insurance company. But if you get 22% equity in FHA by paying down your mortgage or by your value going up, if you haven't been in the mortgage 5 years, you're not going to get out of the mortgage insurance. So That's one disadvantage of FHA. So there is a good alternative to FHA. It's 3% down conventional. If you have a buyer who already has a house and it's an FHA and they don't have much money to put down, this is a great program. I got a buyer doing that exact thing right now. So keep that in mind. Last thing, and maybe most important, while everyone thinks FHA is somewhat of a pain in the butt, and trust me, there's a lot of times it is with their different rules on the appraisals and different things. Hey, it's not rocket science. Sometimes you can get a deal done pretty quickly. You just have to work with a lender who's prepared, and even a lender who does a great job. Sometimes FHA deals drag on depending on what the borrower does and depending on the appraisal and all those things. But hey, I have taken a deal. This is just last month. In 2 weeks, it was clear to close. 2 weeks from start to finish. That's from the day the borrower came in, signed the initial paperwork with me until we were clear to close. 2 weeks. I gave them a list of everything they needed at the beginning, and any additional things that the underwriter asked for, we got all at once right away. As soon as I asked for it from the borrowers, I got it within 24 to 48 hours, and we made sure that everything was right on with what we needed. And in 2 weeks, we were clear to close. So if you want an FHA deal with the potential of closing in 2 weeks, you know who to call. And that's Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Real Estate Agent Masterminds TV. You can send your borrowers to my website if you want them to get pre-approved quickly or find out whether or not you should spend your time on a Saturday showing them houses, or if you'd be wasting your time, give them my website address, www.themichiganmortgageexpert.com, themichiganmortgageexpert.com, where they can apply online quickly and easily. Also, check us out on Facebook, www.facebook.com/masterminds. Have a great day. Get out there and sell some real estate.